Mission of Medicine. My name is King Henry. I'm your host. I am a second-year medical student at Veneers Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. Today I'm in Atlanta, Georgia at the Art of Aesthetics Dental Studio. I'm sitting down with Dr. Quodarrius Toney, aka Dr. Q.
Yeah.
He's a cosmetic dentist, and he also has multiple brands. So today we're going to explore the mastermind behind all of these different brands and this entrepreneur. We want to explore his journey through dentistry, how he's practicing today, and ultimately the businessman behind it all. Welcome to Mission of Medicine.
Thank you so much for having me, King. It's a pleasure. I'm excited to see the information we're here, the information we give to the community. It's going to be a great day. Thank you so much for coming. And it's going to be more grateful to be featured on your podcast.
I appreciate being in this space. I remember just it was a year ago, April, came out to your launch party for the business, and it was magnificent. I don't know if I told you, but it kind of reminded me of like a modern day Great Gatsby.
Oh, a modern day Great Gatsby.
Yes. So for me, just kind of like, all right, I already had in my mind like what this brand is going to be about, what this business is going to be about. And now being in the studio, like it all came together. It's just modern, just high quality, high excellence. I see what you're definitely where you're going with this.
And the thing is, it's been a year.
It's only been a year.
It's only been a year, and I've been practicing dentistry. I graduated in 2021. And this office has been open. We did our 1 year celebration. You know, we did that. And it was so dope. We did an anniversary gift back. We helped about 55 people. We did free services for everyone.
Yeah.
Whoever came in, we were able to treat them free of charge.
That's awesome.
We do a lot of general dentistry, cosmetics, things like that. But we want to give back to the community that also pours into us.
Absolutely.
And people who don't have insurance, don't get a chance to get to the dentist. We're like, we're just going to get a free day for you guys. And it was actually dope. I was busy, I was working.
Yes.
Room after room after room after room. But it just made me think of like a year ago when we started. And just to see how far we've come and how much further we have to go. I'm super excited.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for joining us today. I just want to get a little more background detail about, your beginning story, where you're from, and how old are you now, and when you just get started with your school.
Okay. So I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, born and raised, and I love Memphis. The food, the people, the vibes, the culture of my family. And family is so important to me, so it was hard for me to go off to school. However, I am from Memphis. I attended Ridgeway High School. I graduated high school in 2013. I was the city class president. And after I graduated, I moved to Washington, D.C., and I attended Howard University. And let me tell you the story behind me even going to Howard. I'm from Memphis, and a lot of times you don't hear that much about HBCUs. And on the HBCU, I really moved to TSU, which is in Nashville. And we should always go for their homecoming because we always know where the vibes are. The vibes was always in Nashville for their homecoming. So my parents used to go, and I actually had a classmate who was going to Howard. And I was talking to my mentor. I had a full ride to University of Memphis and a full ride to Ole Miss. And if you know Ole Miss, Ole Miss and Howard are like oil and water. Two different schools.
Yeah.
I'm talking deep south. We're talking about, up north. So my mentor was like, you got a full ride to Ole Miss, but I think you should check out Howard. So I did this whole checkout thing. I had missed the application process, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, okay, I think I do want to go to a black school. And I do think a lot of my trials and growing up and becoming the man I am today started in my middle and high school era. So I was figuring out who I was as a man, as a person, what I liked, what I didn't like, X, Y, and Z. So I knew that it was time for me to get away from my family. And Ole Miss is like an hour and a half away. So I was like, I'm literally going to be the same person I was when I graduated. I probably would have changed X, Y, and Z, but Howard did what it needed to do. So then I wrote a letter to Howard, being a full ride to Howard. And I moved to Washington, D.C. in 2013. And then I graduated with a sports medicine major, chemistry minor, in 2017. While I was in undergrad, I became a new. I'm part of Capital Outside Fraternity Incorporated. Did a lot on campus. I was part of another organization called Campus Files. And I did so much things. I did internships every summer, trying to figure out what type of doctor I wanted to be. You know, I did SHPEP, I think, which is SED. I did all of those things. And then I graduated and then my junior year, I started studying for the DAT. And then I took my DAT. After I took my DAT, I got into dental school at Howard, UT, and a few other schools, and then I chose Howard. Then I went to, after I graduated in 2017, I started dental school in the fall. You know,
and that was which year?
2017 as well. And then I graduated dental school in 2021.
Perfect.
That's the educational journey. And while I was in dental school, I was also trying to figure out what type of dentist I wanted to be. So I was going through all these shadowing things, and then I studied in refuel for a moment. And then that's where I was like, okay, I think cosmetic industry is where I think my home is. So this is a long story, y'all. I hope y'all catch this resume is long. You know, like
we're gonna break it down.
Yeah, we can break it down. But I think the thing is, I was talking to one of my friends who's in business. We don't have LinkedIn's. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they have a whole breakdown step by step. And so this is neither here nor there. But I graduated dental school. Then I moved to Memphis for a year. I worked as an associate at a practice, and then I opened my practice. Gotcha. You know. So it was good. It's a long journey. Any questions?
That was a high level overview of Dr. Q's journey. So now we're going to go back a little bit and just kind of ask some deeper questions, just like break it down. So at what point did you actually? So you did SNDP, SHPEP, and then these other externship programs that kind of get an idea of what doctor, what type of dentist, physician you want to become. At what point did you say, all right, dentistry is what I want to go?
I think it was sophomore year. That's my sophomore year. I think my freshman year, I was like, okay, I want to be a doctor. That's something that I knew going to DC. And then while I was in DC, I was like, okay, I shadowed a OBGYN, optometrist. Those were the main two that I was like, ooh, I can do that, you know? And then part of me also knew that I was like a great entrepreneur, you know? Well, my dad is one, and his blood's within me, so I was like, okay, that's something that I would love to do. Because he says it's on schedule. You know, there's a whole thing. I'm like, oh, I like that, this stuff, that. Like, let me do that. So, after I shadowed the dentist, I was like, wow, this is dope, you know? And nothing against medicine. I was like, I don't have to go to the hospital yet. I can create my own thing. I was like, yeah, this is my vibe. So that was dope. And just saying dentistry allowed me to see the art, i.e. art aesthetics. The name is part of the name. I was like, dentistry is an art, you know, certain things that you can have an eye for. And when I noticed I had an eye for it, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm doing. You know?
So what was your process like with obtaining admission to dental school?
Process. So I would say I knew nothing, right? I knew nothing because my parents, neither of them are doctors. So, and neither of them graduated college. They didn't graduate. So I got a mentor. Mentor was literally gave me a blueprint. I can, like, I'm gonna shout you out right here. Amarachi, her name is Amarachi. She went to Howard. She is the dopest person I ever met. The most selfless, loving, understanding. I would call her out and be like, I need you. I need help understanding what I'm supposed to do next. And then she's a physician now. But I would talk to my mentor about how do things go? You know, how do I make myself the best candidate and things like that. And if you're watching this, please, advice, get your mentor. Everybody can't have the same mentor. So I know a lot of people are like, hey, you know, looking for the same mentor. Even if it's someone that's just headed in that direction or even a year ahead of you, they can help you maneuver and go around things that they might have made a mistake on. So what I did was every summer in my undergraduate career, I did something. Also because I didn't want to be, not doing anything.
Yeah.
I did externships. Like I said, I did SMDP. I did Tennessee Institute of Pre-Professionals. I did anything dealing with like healthcare professionals. And I felt like that helped propel me and get my resume to where it was so that I can get developed directly in dental school. Okay. I don't know if it's the same for me in school, but I know a lot of times people have to take gap years. And gap years is like a thing to get yourself together, So my mentor was like, hey, when we sat down, what do you want to do? Do you believe in gap years or something? I'm more of like, if I take a year off, I'm going to be more relaxed and chill. Yeah. And I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So she was like, to better prepare yourself to compete with others who had more experience, more shadowing, taking gap years, X, Y, and Z, you should do these things. So I think doing something every summer before I applied was great. So I did shadowing with so many dentists. I did, like I said, internship things. And I studied a long time for the dentistry, And I think, and also throughout the course of my undergrad, just make sure my grades were the best I can do, And even if I didn't get exactly what I wanted in a class, not count myself out. I need the school to count me out. You get what I'm saying? You can't set yourself in the position. Exactly.
So at this point, you're in dental school. So you took the DAT, you got in, you're at Howard Dental School.
Oh, let me tell you something. Okay. Well, my idea when I was in undergrad, I was like, ooh, the hardest thing is to get in school. Then I got in, I was like, oh, the hardest thing is to stay in school.
That's the real thing.
I was like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing here. So that was like, well, that's tidbit,
You gotta work really hard, like it's a grind to get through these professional schools. It's like you said, get in is a thing, but staying is.
And I think that transcended to like my career. So I believe every glass ceiling got broke, there was another one, And it's only because I want myself to be better.
Right.
So I found something else to get better in, or a different aspect of life I needed to get better in, even after I graduated school. And that directly correlated with business, how I ran my offices, how I ran my social media, how I ran the toothbrush company, and that allowed me to keep evolving and elevate myself to surpass a certain standard, or keep a certain standard, and that's the idea.
And so with staying in dental school and keeping that standard of excellence for yourself, how did you balance academics, clinical work, and personal life?
Oh, I didn't have no personal life. I didn't have no personal life. I think my relationships were shot, you know what I mean? Not necessarily my friendships and things like that, because my close friends and family who understood what I was going through, they were okay. That I might not text you back, I might not call you back, but when I do, I'll probably get a good 30 minutes to an hour to have a conversation, and then after that, you know what I'm doing, Right. And now when it came to romantic relationships, basically none. I mean, I would meet people, but nothing became very serious going to school, so I believe, but that's just how I work, You know how some people can go through life and have a significant other. Well, I feel like I can, but that time frame, I just want to be.
You went a lot, man.
Yeah, I want to be solo. And then I believe balancing schoolwork and I consume myself with industry.
So you really immerse yourself
in the field. And only thing I made time for was on Sunday I went to church. I don't care if I'm crying, stressed. The exam is in 3 hours. I went to church every Sunday.
And why was that so important to you?
Man, it was so important because I know where my power comes from. And I know what has brought me this far and what's going to take me even further than industry, So just reminding myself that God is everything to me. And He has His hands on me, and understanding that He's the reason,
So how did you stay motivated during challenging times during dental school?
My grandparents. I think every time it really got tough, and I had nothing, I called my grandmother, and she would pray on the spot. I'm talking like within seconds, she already knows. Yes. Okay. And
Southern,
yes,
religious backbone.
yeah. And my grandfather, he was always there for me. He's no longer with us. However, he truly impacted me throughout college and dental school. He literally was there every weekend, gave me a call, sent money, and whatever I needed, he was there. So I would say, just being in school reminded me of my grandparents, from my ancestors, and the things that they might have been through that I don't know, but I can feel the blood they might have shed for me. I can feel the pain, the trauma, the long hours of working to take care of my parents, so that my parents could then take care of me. You know what I mean? Like, those things are what pushed me, to just even feel. And this is my thing for anybody who has grandparents that are still living. Sit down and truly talk to them and figure out, like, what did you go through? You know what I mean? To make sure mom and dad had certain things or were able to go to school and things like that. And what did your parents go through to make sure you were a certain way? And just having those things in my mind reminded me of, like, oh my God, it's a really pictures. It's a really picture, and just understanding the people that came before me and how I'm just pushing the envelope for my bloodline, and even my people, any Black person. You know what I mean? So I think those are the things that push me. And then I would tell you, if you're in dental school, med school, I know a lot of people are. It depends on your study vibe. I was a person, I studied by myself, then I studied the group. Some people are strictly solo, which I get. But regardless of how you study, get you some accountability partners. That's right. You know what I mean? That's right. And those are the people who we connected and we check on one another each and every day. And I say this, like, from my D1 year to my D4 year, it was like a roller coaster. I'll be on grade in one class, okay in another. Need to pass an exam to make sure I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it switched for all of us. All of us were at different levels at different times of our career in dental school. So it was important that we were there for each other in each aspect, And I would say my harder years in dental school was first year. Easier years for me was fourth year. And I could say it was vice versa for my study partner. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it's also because I went directly into school. And then I also think I'm very good with my hands. So in dentistry, our last 2 years, we're doing a lot of clinical things, patient, and that's just where I thrive. God's good. So
And we know Howard is really big on community. And it's very culture centered in DC. I think he just got ready for the #1 HBC. Shout out to HU. HU. Speaking of Howard and the community, if you could go back and speak to one professor who's made a large impact on your career and your life, what would you say to them?
Oh, Dr. Butler. No, I'm telling you, he's my chem professor. And I did great in all my sciences, but Jim Chem did a number on me. And I just didn't allow myself to fail. And I think I got easily Jim Chem, all of them. But it was hard for me to get that. I don't know why, but he was there for me every step of the way. Anytime I sent the email, I came to his office. Every step of the way, he would make time for me and try and explain something deeper or help me understand the topic, So I would say Dr. Butler was so amazing. He spoke life to me, and he understood what I was trying to do. And he wasn't just here to give me a grade, And honestly, he's a white professor at Howard. Yeah, he's a white professor. So he really was. It's awesome.
It's always good when you have a strong professor you connect with, who motivates you to keep you in line and to your goals. He's telling you that for you.
And he brought my recommendation for that school too.
There we go.
I'm talking pages. I was like, they didn't ask for all this. They wanted to.
You're getting that. This recommendation will be strong. You don't have to worry about that. So you had mentioned that you went to Beverly Hills in dental school to train Yes.
Absolutely.
So how did you get that opportunity? It seems like you networked maybe to get that opportunity.
So let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you all this. You're in dentistry or medicine, and there is a place that you would love to go. Someone that does what you're looking to do. I'm talking. I didn't get a response back for months.
Oh.
I sent email after email after email after email after email, and I think the thing is, I went to Howard for undergrad. So when I started seeing patients in dental school, I was booked.
Yeah.
I was seeing people, my friends, people I didn't know, because I went there for undergrad. So by the time it came to my senior year, I had finished, I would say, like 75 to 80% of my requirements clinically. So I was able to take the Thursday and Friday off and fly to California and study there with those dentists and fly back to school for my.
So how did you meet them?
Through email.
Just so they respond. You just found them online
On socials, actually.
Okay.
Socials. And it's like they want me to do I found them and I was like, oh, this would be dope. I think it was a aesthetics excellent study club. This where a group of dentists got together. Who lived in the California area, all over the world, and did that to balance knowledge off on it. And I wanted to be in their room, right? But they only allow, I think, 3 or 4 people who are actually still in them. So I think there were 2 people from UCLA, me from Howard, maybe 1 person from another school.
Cold emailing these opportunities.
I was talking like I wasn't that.
Yeah.
You know, and it could get discouraging at times when you don't get a response back. However, I knew that they were busy. I knew it wasn't malice intent.
Yeah.
Because these are working professionals.
Yes.
Who own businesses and run businesses. So I was like, we'll just keep emailing until somebody assists me. Somebody will see it. Somebody will. And they would at least give me a day, just to come through, and it was up. It was up.
Okay. So I guess before you started reaching out specifically, you realizing that cosmetics is where you wanted to go. What particularly in dental school stood out to you to say, like, I want to be a cosmetic dentist? When was that point?
The point was I was doing everything, and I'm like, okay, that ain't it. That ain't it. Not that it wasn't great. It was just like, I need something that was new. And I think confirmation also came from my friends who were also in dental school. They were like, oh, this is you. This is your vibe. This is everything that you're about. I can see you being great. So it was my friends seeing a lot of me, So I also thought I wanted to do oral surgery. And I still do surgery now.
Yeah.
But I was like, it was good, but not for me. So yeah.
And with cosmetic dentistry, is there a residency for it?
No. So the thing is, now you have to be accredited. However, there's not a particular residency to become a cosmetic dentist. But there are, I think recently there's one at NYU, one at this school in California, where they're opening up more programs because they're seeing like it's a thing. But I don't know when it'll be an actual residency. And I think it will be hard to get an actual residency because like cosmetic dentistry is also like art, So it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's like I'm literally taking a person and figuring out how this can come on in, and it won't be the same thing for you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like an artist, you truly have to have an eye for it, and sometimes it's so hard to be taught. Like it's like Leonardo da Vinci. Like can somebody teach you what he did? It's like you can get close, but it's like he had an eye for it.
So would you be able to say, like, if I was someone that was interested in cosmetic dentistry in dental school right now, would you be able to give me 3 tips or skills to kind of hone in on and focus on and pursue that?
Yes. Try your best to shadow a cosmetic dentist. Number 1. Number 2, if they're able to be in the tool, do it. If not, it's okay. You can still just get a dentist to be in the tool. What would I say? Study cases. If you see or you follow, you know, never live in the age of social media. Most cosmetic things are posted on social media. I'm talking, turn your post notifications on and study it. I mean, one after one, you can see, if you can see what they see before you see the after. Or you can see where things need to be corrected before that. You know?
Well, that's good advice.
Case studies.
I like that.
The more cases that you get a chance to see, like when a person comes to my office and they smile, I'm talking, I get like bullet points in my head of what am I correcting, what am I fixing, what looks good, what needs adjusting, where are things supposed to be, how am I going to place this, what's a certain color here, how's the light going to reflect this way. All of these things are coming together in my head as I'm starting to design something specifically for that.
Okay.
You know?
I feel like with careers in healthcare, such as medicine, dentistry, there's always this room for growth and improvement. It feels always advancing.
Yeah.
So, are there continuing education programs that
So
you have been, a part of after graduating from Howard Dental School? And what are they? And what should people look out for?
I feel like there are so many, but I think there are like these big Hinman and big conferences, and there are cosmetic dentists who host different things, and they will let you know when they're hosting like private events, that goes towards like aesthetics or cosmetics or something like that. So I literally just get on with those.
Okay. So at this point, you graduated from Howard, and I know you had mentioned
Dental school undergrad.
Howard Dental School. Okay, you were there, and I know you had mentioned that before you opened your own practice, you were working at an office.
Yes. Okay. So when I was graduating, I was trying to figure out, hey God, what we doing? Cosmetics is not easy to get into. And I would say this with any type of medicine industry, because people like to see your work, before they trust you with working on it. You know what I mean? Because obviously, when you get something cosmetic done, everything on everybody looks different. So people want to see a lot of successful cases before okay, this is what I'm choosing. So I was like, okay, where am I going to go? So I got an offer in Miami, offer in Memphis, and I was also thinking about working corporate, one of those big corporate chains. Yeah, and I was like, that ain't my vibe at all. So I was like, no. But I did an interview in Miami. I loved it. However, I love Miami, but I don't think it's a place I want to live. So I'm like, not right now. Okay. And then I knew I wanted to be an owner. So I'm like, Memphis would be great for number one, be able to save and work and stay at the crib and get a home cooked meal and see my family. I was like, I had too many positives. Yeah. And I was like, this is what's going to be for me. Okay. So I moved to Memphis, worked for a year, and this is where everything started. When I didn't know it was starting. Well, not everything, but the snowball effect started.
Did you start branding yourself online or?
No. That's why I said, did it start there? It actually started first day of dental school. And I see more people doing it now where I was actually showing people my life every single day while I was in dental school. I'm talking 2,000 followers. 2,000 followers. 2 views. I'm serious. I'm like, and you think I want to start. However, I still get on live sometimes and get people and see the names that I saw 10 years ago. Wow. Like, I can still support you. I remember when you were in the churches and my heart is full because I'm like, oh, you did it. And with anyone, starting anything and living in the age of social media, don't get caught up in the numbers. We can all get caught up in the numbers, However, I tell everybody asks me, like, hey, God, how do you get here or there? And I feel like I'm not even there yet. You know what I mean? However, you have to do it when no one's looking. You have to do it when you don't want to. You got to do it with 2 views, a million views, and you have to be consistent. And even if you get to a certain level where you're like, oh, I can breathe, are you really at that level? Are you satisfied? Are you contented? Are you okay with being mediocre? So all of this like started. I was in dental school. That's when I was student Dr. Q.
Yes.
I was student Dr. Q. And I still have my business card that I had in dental school because we were seeing patients. And when I would be out of the I'm like, oh, I'm seeing patients. Like I feel like I'm putting my mixtape out. I'm talking like I was in dental school. I'm like, I'm hustling. I'm walking down U Street, going through seeing a student. I'm like, hey, I'm a student doctor. When last time you seen a dentist? Here's my business card. You have a toothache, call me. I'm telling you I'm doing it. And it reminds me, this is so funny that I'm thinking because I was just watching, this is so off topic. I was just watching the Nicki Minaj video. She's like, they're not rappers anymore. I was selling mixtapes in my trunk. And I'm like, wow, now that we're talking about it, I'm like, wow. I was literally walking through DC, giving out my business cards with student Dr. Q back in 2015. Yeah. 2015 is when I was giving out business cards like, hey, I'm seeing patients now. If you have a toothache, you haven't seen a dentist, you haven't health concerns, you haven't pain your mouth, come see me. I'll take care of you. Now, I was so excited because I'm like, when I start seeing patients, so it was dope.
That's amazing. It just goes back to the passion about it. You said you immerse yourself in the field. Yeah. You said
I feel like I sleep and I see.
I
sleep and I see business stuff, teeth, and I'm like, okay. And then I wake up, it's real. Yeah. So I have to do it again.
That's amazing. All right, so you're at the practice in Memphis. Yeah. Things are booming, things are developing, things are snowballing. All right, when you say, I need to go out on my own. When is that you say, I need to go out on my own practice?
So let me tell you, I had this conversation with my dad. They want to graduate, or like before May happened, my dad, we had two options. I'm like, God is cool when you start now to open my own practice. And my dad is like, easy, you know? You gotta take that. And I'm like, okay. So this is where I look to my parents for advice. I did believe that I was confident enough to start my own dental practice right after dental school. However, I listened to my father. My dad was like, please give me a year. I just want you to have 1 year of being an understudy, 1 year of serving, 1 year of being an underdog, 1 year of like true grind before you jump out on your own, so that you can see things that you might not see when you open up practice.
It's such like a parent's wisdom.
And I was like, dang, I gotta do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though I didn't want to end, when I tell you, I thank my dad so much for that because I was able to like go back to Memphis and do that. And this is another thing why I think we should create wealth in Black communities, and we want to save and do great for our children because I was graduated at 23 or 24, and my dad was like, come home, you don't have to pay for anything. Come home, and you can get yourself together so that you can get your life together and you can be out there and be stable on your own. I'm not pushing. And a lot of times people feel bad, or we feel bad. Hey, I just went to med school, middle school. Why am I going home? But I was able to go home and have a place of peace where I can get my financials together, get my mental together, get my business plan together, and not have to worry about life, phone bill, insurance, car insurance, all of those things. You know, which is why I pray every day for my children. And if you think you need to go home for a year, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. You know. So I did that, and I went back to Memphis, and during that year, I learned so much about the industry that I didn't know on the business side of the industry and the industry side. You know, i.e., how our patients, like in dental school, patients are nice, or they can be mean. Hold on, but I think in private practice, it's just a different patient pool. Yeah, you know, and I just learned so much during that 1 year of being an associate, you know, and it helped me so much when I opened my own practice. So we asked you a question.
So I think the question you asked me was like, when did I know that I was ready to open my own practice?
Right.
And I told you this earlier, and I just have a true connection with God. I don't know what it is. I have no explanation to it. I woke up and it was like, God said yes. God said it's time. It wasn't the finances. It wasn't the work I was doing. It was just like, God said yes. And I was like, I prayed a few times. And I'm like, God, is this time or am I hastening? Am I rushing? And I don't want to hasten to do anything in life.
Right.
I'm patient.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let's not rush. We're going to do it when the time is right. God said, the Lord will make it happen, you know? So I was in the point where I'm like, okay, let me pray about this a few more times to be sure I'm hearing what I'm hearing. And he was like, you ready? And that's when I knew.
Okay.
So was it a specific time? No, I woke up one day and it was like, God said yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you talked to Dad, and then he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you can go."
I literally, I told my parents the same thing. I said, God said yes.
Okay.
And they were like, okay. I mean, I have nothing to say back to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Okay.
And that's just how it happened, truly.
So then you decided to launch here in Atlanta. And what kind of drove you to that decision? Why here? Why Atlanta?
I don't know if I told this to anyone or a lot of people, but I like to be in an area where I can thrive, you know, and where I was thinking of all of my colleagues and all the people that I know and where they are. And I was like, okay, I know a doctor in Miami. I know a doctor in New York. I know a doctor in Memphis. I know a doctor in DC. I'm like, I don't know a cosmetic dentist in Atlanta. I don't. And if there's one, who, you know? And I was like, I think we might have a space, you know? And I'm going to tell you this. I love family. Like, it's like God family. I'm talking like a teeny bit under, like it's God, then family. So I was like, I need to be the closest city to my family so that I can always make it home to get refuel, recharge, to have a sense of home.
Yeah.
And I also knew I wanted to be in a city where that's thriving with Black people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What other city is it than Atlanta?
Black Mecca right now.
I'm talking the like literally it. So I was like, yeah, Atlanta's it. Okay. And I shout out to my best friend, Jaton. She lives in Atlanta. Okay. And she's always made Atlanta feel like home because she moved here directly after college. Okay. And we would literally come and crash on her couch like weeks on end, days, months on end at this point, you know? And she would always hold it down. So shout out to you, Jaton. Love you so much.
Awesome. What has been a typical workday like for you as an owner and operator of Art of Aesthetics?
Let me tell you. I'm not even gonna go there yet. But typical day. Let me answer your question. I get up around 6:30, 6:30, pray. Go over financials in the morning. I send out texts to my loved ones if I have time. And then check my socials, and then I'll be at home waiting for one of my assistants to call me to say my patient's ready or walking in the door, you know? I'll make my way to the office, look at my charts, figure out exactly what I'm doing, or I also do this at home too. Figure out exactly who I'm seeing, what I'm doing, how many veneer cases, how many cleanings, how many extractions, how many Invisalign, like what does my day consist of? And also owning a business, I have to do or think about the business aspect too. So being an entrepreneur is very hard, you know. you work 12-hour shifts Monday through Friday, you know. So even on my lunch breaks, I hardly have them at times because I am doing business stuff with my managers during my lunch breaks, and then I'm shooting back over to see patients right at 1 o'clock. And then I don't have a very strenuous day though. How many patients do I see in a day? On a heavy day, like 20. I know dentists that see like 50, 40, you know, but I don't do small things. You know, I'm seeing patients for longer periods of time, you know? So then after I've seen all of my patients, my day would end, and then we would come back, talk to the staff, have staff meetings. we like to have our meetings at the end of the day. A lot of dental offices be having them at the top of the day.
Yeah.
We are all like, in the morning, let's just get to work. You know what I mean? And this works for us, you know. But at the end of our day, we talk about what's going on tomorrow, you know. So at the end of our day, we go through things, we clean up. And this is another thing. As an entrepreneur, I've done everything from clean up, sweep, wash the toilet, be my own assistant, be the dentist, be the business owner, be the chef, be the wash the dishes. And I tell all my staff that I'm not too good to do anything that pertains to this office or dentistry or any of that. And that's even when I was a mentee to my mentor's office. I was there before him and after him.
Yeah.
I'm talking, what you want me to turn this room over while you go chill and sit down? Because I'm so thankful for him to even allow me to be in his space. You know what I mean? So then at the end of the day, I'll try to make it to the gym. And the thing is, that's still been a journey, figuring that out and figuring it into, because I travel a lot. A lot. You know, so
work hard, play hard.
You know, I'm like, okay, how am I going to make this regimen in the gym work? And then after that, go to bed and do it all over. You know what I mean? But social media is in there, somehow.
And I see you still, doing company. Your own. You do your own videos for social media.
Oh yes.
How is that like?
That's
was that
job.
like a strategic plan? Like, oh, I'm going to continue to do it myself. Or
that wasn't a strategic plan. It's just, honestly, I'm such a stickler. I feel like if you want it done right, sometimes you got to do it yourself. You know,
I feel that.
And delegation is always a good thing. So I'm a delegate, but there are some things that I need to see before the world sees it.
That leads into my next question. What's your leadership style? Are you a visionary or you're an operator?
Explain the two different ones.
For me, it's like visionary. You have the plan. You see the vision. You can set out the goals. Like you see the overarching, skyscraper, right? Like you see it up, and you kind of just delegate people to like do it, right? The operator is like person who's like in there doing every single little thing, like can't delegate.
Okay. Again, this is me. I also think I have to get better with this, but after God gives me a vision, right? It's in there. And then I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to write it down, make it plain. Every single time I've gotten a vision from God, I've sat down and I have this booklet I've had. I wish I had it with me. I've had since I did my first day of dental school.
Okay.
And I wrote down, I'm talking top to bottom. And so after I get a vision, I write it down. And then I'm like, okay, how can we get there? You know, if this is the vision, what are the steps, right? So this is before I tell my staff or anyone or anything. I'm at home doing this. How can we get there? So I'm researching, doing all these things step by step, every single time. It's like clockwork, step by step. And then it's because I've had like 10 visions of things that are still working on, about to happen, you know? So I'm writing them down. Cool. After I get there, I'm like, all right, I think this is a good idea, you know? So then I have like 2 or 3 people that we hear, we locked in, you know, twin, where have you been? You know what I mean? And I'm like, I got to run something by you. Listen, you know what I mean? And it's always good as a business owner to have a listening ear.
Your board of trustees.
Yeah, board of trustees. So I'm going to sit and I'm running by them. And they like, ooh, that's dope. Or, ooh, that's a hit. Or, ooh, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's fix that, you know? So I would do that, and then after I get something set down, then I will strategically tell people in my staff at different times, you know, and then it just come up, and then all of them end up having different roles, and next thing you know, they were like, "Oh, I did that," then they did that, then they did that, and I did this, and we all here.
Okay.
And then now I'm gonna shout out to Cam, my frat brother, Cam Key, my my brother, my friend. I'm talking, he's over the business of like Dr. Q. And he's allowed me to give my all to dentistry because he's lended aid to me. It's a mutual benefit to where he's aiding Art of Aesthetics and Dr. Q, helping us get our operations and things in play, and communicating with different staff and other people who want to connect with the business and want to collaborate with us.
Yeah.
And it's super dope. So I have him, and he helps me get through things. I like now we're going through. I'm doing everything for California now. So yeah.
So in regards to how you manage the business, first off, it sounds like you're a hybrid of both. Like you're a visionary.
Yeah,
and
I think
operator.
both.
It's like a mix, right?
Both.
Yeah,
I think both. I can't fully take my hands off everything.
Yeah,
but I have a certain eye for things. I.e., you know, I'm a cosmetic dentist.
yeah.
And if it doesn't look like what God is showing me, that's not right. We're not.
If it's not a 10 out of 10, I don't want it.
If it's not a 10 out of 10, I do not want it. I don't want it.
Yeah,
Don't want it.
I understand it. So how old are you?
I am 28. Only reason it took me a minute because my birthday is in 2 months. So I need to start training myself to say I'm 29.
Okay.
So my birthday is 11/11.
Okay.
And I turned 29 in November, so I'm 28 right now.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm 28 as well.
Oh,
so one of the things that I have trouble with when I'm leading a team that happens to be people around my age, sometimes it's hard for me to kind of like tell them what to do all the time, you know, like to balance the friendship versus being the leader and not like trying to rub people the wrong way. How do you navigate being a boss and a leader and also friends to, you know, some of the people that work for you?
Whew, let me tell you, I don't know. However, one of my staff members, they was like, Doc, you must be like, they don't make you know like anywhere. They was like, they don't make you anywhere. And it's because I feel like I'm the perfect friend, the perfect boss, the perfect coworker. Because there's only like 8 of us in my office. So we are like a close-knit family. So how do I get to the place where business is business? When it's time to talk to business, oh, they know what that mean is gonna come out.
Professional hat.
Yeah. You was late this morning. Like you know, like I literally, and it's not even. And I think when you do things with a sense of humility and grace, it's not always what you say is how you say it. They're not going to take it the wrong way. And this is why it's very important when you're picking your team, you pick people who are aligned with you. Now, it's very important on my team that, you know, I love believers. You know what I mean? And if you're a true believer, if we can't agree on anything, we agree on God said we need to do what is right and what is righteous.
Yes.
And whatever that looks like, we can agree on that. We probably can't agree on all the other stuff, you know, but if we can agree on that, we can find a common ground, you know? And I think that's what I like. But it's hard. It's hard being a boss at 28, you know? But it costs. It costs to be a boss. But I would say this for all of my business owners, all of my future practice owners, medicine, dentistry, you're going to go through some bumps and blows of learning and making those mistakes because there are people that we've lost. And there are things that I would have done differently. And it was just all a part of the journey. You know what I mean? So I'm happy it happened because I learned from it, you know?
So in the course of you owning a practice
Right.
and being a young entrepreneur, what is a challenging situation that you've learned from as being a private practice dental owner?
Never lose your cool.
Okay.
Never lose your cool because I think the thing is being a black entrepreneur, a black business owner, sometimes we as a people see our people as less than. And you have to understand that you have to always exemplify a level of excellence, a level of understanding, a level of compassion throughout your business. So if you're owning a practice or something like that, and you have a patient or something that maybe not happy, maybe y'all are taking too long, you know, they only had an hour, the appointment took an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They come cursing you out and things like that. You have to have a level of cool, you know, because it's too much weighing on you for you to lose your cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if you got staff following you and you lose your cool, what you think they're gonna do? They're gonna lose their cool.
Represent you.
And I'm talking.
The business.
There have been times Dr. Q don't lose his cool ever. I don't. I genuinely don't. I don't know how I do it, but people be like, I would have did. I just can't, because I know with greater power comes greater responsibility, right? So I know that when people throw rocks at me, I can't pick up a rock and throw it back. It's just not going to be good for the doctor in the end, because you have the
Who
stuff
has more to lose?
You have it. You have the license.
Yes.
Honestly, even if you don't think you're the man of the show, you are the man of the show.
Yeah.
This thing ain't gonna operate without you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you cut your head off, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself that we have people's families. My staff have kids. Mm-hmm. My staff have their own life. They want to travel. You know, you have people's salaries in your hand. Livelihood, and yourself included.
Yes.
So you need to pay attention on how you react to things. You know,
being a leader.
You know, and it's easy when you work for somebody else, or you work at McDonald's or Burger King. You better get out of this, you know. But you can't do that at your office. You know what I mean? Because you're not those big companies where they can't get in touch to the owner.
Yeah.
You're the owner. They can touch you. You know what I mean? They know who you are. Mm-hmm. They know you. Yeah. Whereas those big companies, you know, big hospitals, you be like, get out of here. You know, you don't know the owner, you know. Mm-hmm. However, when they know that you're the owner, you just have to, you got to keep your cool.
That's real.
You know?
So with your work, we know that you pay a very significant attention to detail with the aesthetics to the teeth and creating these awesome smiles.
For sure.
That are 10 out of 10s. Do you ever have a case where you're a little nervous preparing? You're like, I don't know if this is going to go well, or if you have some doubt with a challenging case. How do you maneuver through that?
So I think a lot of times I have consults and I'll sit back and be like, ooh, this could go this way, this could go that way. Mm-hmm. You know? And this is where I have to go off experience. Yeah. I have to go off, what does my gut say, you know? So there have been a lot of times, there's been challenging cases that I've had to complete that I didn't know. Because dentistry, it's the prognosis of dentistry. What's the probability of this being successful? And like dentistry, like everything's not absolute. Yeah. You get what I mean? Like everything is not 1 + 1 = 2. You get what I mean? So it's like, what's the probability of this being successful? What's the probability of this restoration lasting you a lifetime? Okay. You get what I mean? Yeah. So just learning that. And I think there have been a lot of times. This is another thing. Dr. Q don't lose his cool. You could be in the mouth and something happens. You like, whoa. Okay, how we gonna get it? We got to get this together, because nobody's walking out here with no teeth. You get what I mean? Well, I'm just saying, this is when you take on those challenging cases. Yeah. Like I would talk about a case that I did. I was removing golds one day, and you know, under golds you can't really see in the X-ray what's under there. So I'm thinking everything not gonna be good, but it's not gonna be this bad, you know. And I was taking them off. As I'm taking them off, the tooth coming off, all of them. So I'm like, creating a step-by-step plan to make it successful. So just not losing your cool, understanding that you need to study, you know, and continuing education is important. Any doctor, continuing education, don't forget them. You need those hours. Get them.
What are 2 misconceptions about your field of work in dentistry that you can debunk?
People think you have to shave your teeth to like little shark teeth for veneers, and that is so not true. It depends on what doctor you go to. That's one. Okay. People I always get this veneer breath question, which is so crazy. And I'm like, if they breath stink, they breath just stink. Does that make sense? Yeah. However, if you come to art of aesthetics, you know, all of your health concerns have to be handled before we move anything aesthetics. You get what I mean? Yeah. So it's just I think the world has started maneuvering to people who aren't dentists, people who don't have credentials, people, God knows what, to their mouth, and not taking care of the true foundation of things. And this is where you'll see somebody like, oh, they breath stink and they got veneers. They probably got it from somebody that's in, and it's not even veneers. Let's not call it veneers.
Yeah.
Now. You know, they got God knows what in their teeth in somebody's apartment.
Yeah.
And that's just like crazy to me. So veneer breath is not a thing.
Okay.
If you take care of your teeth, you go to a dentist, you get them done properly, it's just not a thing.
Okay.
Shaving your teeth away for veneers, not a thing. However, in some cases, it can be done, or some doctors do that to make space or X, Y, and Z. However, in art of aesthetics, we don't. And then what's another thing? I get people that call me, "Can you do my teeth tonight?" They'll DM me like, "Doc, I'm in Atlanta tonight. Can you do my teeth?" What?
It's a process over here.
Yeah, it is a whole process. I'm talking a step by step, you know, and tried and true. We like to go by our process because we know it works. You know.
Okay. You kind of touched on this a little bit, but let's dive a little bit more into this. With the growing world of veneers and there being different type of ways to get veneers and different dental workers in the industry, what advice do you have for people who are interested in getting veneers? What factors should they consider?
Consider a dentist that you can continue to go to, right? If all they do in their office is veneers, you might not want to go there. You get what I mean? You need to go to a dentist who's like, hey, after your veneers, I still need to see you every 6 months, once a year, twice a year, whatever the case may be. And I will do your cleanings, I do cavities, I do all of that because they're taking care of your overall well-being and not just doing the cosmetic. You know, so that would be my number one thing. So don't just be going over there to Colombia and Miami and God knows what. Now, you know, finances can be a lot. Yeah. You know, veneers are not cheap. So if you go to a dental office and they saying I can get you some veneers for $1,000, you might want to run. However, if you go to a dentist and he's like, hey, I'll do your veneers, or you get them done right, you're getting them done correctly, I would rather you save before going overseas to get things done. You know, because I'm not going to lie, like veneer treatment or cosmetic surgery is not expensive. It is expensive, but expensive is relative to everyone, depending on your own bank account.
Exactly.
Right? But my advice is, if the doctor that you truly believe will do the best on you, if they're expensive, just sit back and say, what you in a rush for? Yeah. You know?
Got to make it done right, so you don't have to redo it.
You know, I heard that in football. You do it right, you do it light. You do it wrong, you're going to do it long. You know what I mean? So that means you're going to keep getting things done if you do it wrong, you know?
Yeah, that's real. And from the medical side of things, you know, if your overall health is really important when it comes to your oral health, right? Like it's one-on-one.
Directly correlated.
If you have teeth and you have decays, cavities, and things go untreated and not done right,
the nerve go directly to your brain.
Trigeminal nerve.
Yeah.
Then you have heart conditions. You have endocarditis that can happen, where you can get bacteria lodging on your valves in your heart.
Exactly.
And that could come from your mouth. So we have to be very careful in how we take care of our oral health. So
absolutely.
Very important. With the Art of Aesthetics brand and your brand, Dr. Q, do you think there's two separate brands or just one?
Woo! You the man. I think the biggest thing now, people fall in love with people. You know, and this is off topic. I was watching a video about Beyonce.
Okay.
We love Beyonce.
Yeah.
However, it's been hard for her to sell products because nobody feel like they can relate to her, or she's no one like we've never seen Beyonce on live. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
You get what I mean? And she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm talking like she's one of a kind.
Very talented.
Very talented. So I think Art of Aesthetics and Dr. Q, we are one, but we have different components to us, if that makes sense. So starting out, Art of Aesthetics was just Dr. Q and Dr. Q doing treatment, you know. However, as we've expanded, is Dr. Q, Dr. Jess, and other doctors that we've added. Dr. Dave, we've had doctors who, and we're even adding another doctor for California and things like that, where it's not just Dr. Q anymore. Art of Aesthetics is just a level of dentistry, you know, and Dr. Q is still a thing and still Art of Aesthetics, but Art of Aesthetics has also expanded to Dr. Jess as well, into where we all are a part of this home.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Makes sense.
So we are one, but we also expanded to multiple doctors and staff, and because Art of Aesthetics is Jordan, Tiana, Kimura, all of the staff. Like it's not just me anymore, you know, and which I love.
Yeah.
I love that.
As you're talking about the expansion, like you keep dropping it, California. What is your vision for AOA, and where do you see it in the next 10 years?
Oh, vision. I've been praying about this a long time. One thing, I do want Art of Aesthetics to expand because I love what we're doing. Number one, for the community. Number two, for our patients. Number three, for the culture.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Black excellence is a thing, but Black excellence is in dentistry. We just want to keep pushing it forward.
Yes.
You know, and if Art of Aesthetics, I do see Art of Aesthetics being in Atlanta, California, Chicago, Houston, New York, Dubai, San Francisco, Vegas, Dallas and Houston, I already said, and then Miami. I do believe that we are expanding that far. And we do want to bring on more doctors. We do want to connect with more doctors.
Yeah.
We do want to make sure that our doctors are all at the same level of expertise. And that's one thing I love about now with the doctors that work Art of Aesthetics. There's not one case that go through this office that all of us haven't seen. And I do want to expand now. I am only one person. I can only be at one place at one time. God made me like that. So I do want to connect with other people and other doctors so that we can expand and offer ownership and things like that, a part of AOA.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's the blueprint right there. That's the visionary. This is the man with the master.
Yeah, and I think it would be dope, and even connecting with my mentees now. They're like,
oh, Christian.
Yeah,
cool.
Christian. It's a few people from Meharry
Okay.
and Howard Dental School who are like, Doc, I see the vision. Let's possibly make something happen. So I'm excited to see what God has in store for that as well.
I'm waiting to see too.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. I know you had mentioned a little bit that you have a manager and your dad is an entrepreneur, and you kind of like gained that entrepreneurial insight from your dad and seeing how he lived his life, like being able to create his own schedule.
Correct.
How have you kind of gained business knowledge and skills over the years to kind of be a business operator?
Trial and error, number one. Yeah. We've made some mistakes. Number two, get you a good CPA. Number three.
CPA is a certified personal accountant?
Yep. Okay. And they help with taxes, all those things, especially when you're dealing with your finances. Yep. Financial literacy is so important.
100%.
I'm talking like before I even had money, I had somebody like, look, I'm for real. I was like, this is what it's going to be. God gave me this vision. This is how much we're going to be bringing in, X, Y, and Z. And we've already surpassed that.
Amen.
And this is when I first graduated dental school, you know, and I started putting things in place for the longevity of AOA.
Yeah.
And I think getting outside of even me being a mentor for someone else, getting a mentor for myself, business-wise and dental-wise, you know. And my dad's always one call away. And honestly, he's always calling me, trying to be on the phone, making sure I'm doing X, Y, and Z and things like that. He's like, I don't mean to tell you what to do, but this is, you know, and it's good to have those people in your life.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any important events or projects coming up for AOA that the people should know about?
We have a huge expansion coming up.
Okay.
We're gonna drop it, I think, within the next month or two.
Okay. So
a huge expansion. We just did our anniversary gift back, which we talked about earlier in our interview. Art of Aesthetics was 1 year, and we gave 55 people free dental care. I'm talking cleanings, surgery, all of that, and it just felt so good to give back.
Right.
You know? And we're giving out a scholarship again.
okay.
$25,000 to a
Oh,
Howard University.
Say that again.
25 bands. $25,000 to a Howard dental student.
Yes.
We're going to do that again this year. And we are also working again with Waterpick this year.
Okay.
Where we are doing our HBCU homecoming tour to spread awareness for dentistry, oral care, and how important it is to use a Waterpick and a water flosser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's amazing. All right. So now I'm going to dive a little bit deep into just general personal questions, like people who inspire you. 3 people who inspire
Ready for the smoke? I'm just kidding. No, 3 people that inspire me. This is always a hard question because I'm so hard on myself.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But so I'm gonna tell you somebody in sports who inspired me. I'm a big tennis fan. I played tennis in high school.
Love tennis. I just got into it this summer.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I just got back from the U.S. Open like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And it was great. But I truly, truly love Serena Williams. I'm talking down. I love Serena Williams and her tenacity and her ability to keep going and keep pushing. She truly inspires me, you know, on and off of the court, you know. And I think they're like going through this rabbit hole of like just watching all of her old matches and places where she's won, she's lost, she's learned from it, and like now all of her business ventures, so many, you know. I think she truly inspired me. Who else inspires me is my grandfather who passed away, who supported me throughout college and dental school. I just know he's looking down on me so happy, so proud. And just seeing how he carried himself as a man every single day just keeps pushing me to get better with my personal life every single day. And then one more person that I think inspires me is I gotta give it to Mom Deuce. Always. I think my mom's unwavering faith about what God has shown her.
Yes.
Regardless of external circumstances, reminds me day in and day out of how I have to keep pushing. I have to keep going. And it just reminds me of like just pushing forward, pushing the envelope, doing better for myself, but not only myself, my family. You know? And I think those are dope things. Dope things.
Are you reading any books right now? Or you have any favorite books?
So, I like fiction.
Okay.
I mean, and so I was going through this time where I was like, okay, I watched all of Game of Thrones books. I mean, movies, I gotta read the books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, ideally, that's what I'm trying to get into now. Or starting, I have them, I just have to read them.
Okay.
And I always pay attention to Oprah's book, her top seller books that she recommends. Because every year she puts out a book list. Yeah. And I like to read some of those.
I see Barack Obama does that sometimes too.
Yeah, it's so dope. Yeah.
How do you avoid burnout? What do you do to de-stress?
Travel. But that burns me out even more. Because that flight be exhausted. Do things that I love. I love going to sports games. I love traveling. I actually just got back from Italy a month ago. And I took 2 weeks to do nothing but travel. And I went to Capri, I went to Sorrento, I went to Positano, I went to Milan. I enjoyed Italy for 2 weeks of not working. I've never been off work for 2 weeks.
Sheesh.
And I couldn't believe it. And I was like, okay, that's what we're doing. And I think one major travel a year is going to do it for me.
What has been your favorite place so far that you've been to?
I went in Milan. I went to see Leonardo da Vinci's painting of The Last Supper.
Okay.
The actual painting.
Sheesh.
It was so nostalgic. I was like, wow. And that was actually the highlight of my trip. Well, one of the highlights of my trip. But yeah.
Who's your favorite artist, musical artist, and what genre of music is your favorite?
All right, I got to give you two. I can't give you
one.
All right. I got to give you. Well, so let me say this. I can break down per genre, but my all-time favorite is, it's hard for me to say this, but Lauryn Hill and Anthony Hamilton, I feel like them two human beings just get me. They get me. Yeah. I'm like, are y'all in my brain?
Yeah.
You know, soulful. Pain, struggle, overcoming. I can already
hear the song in my head.
God fearing, like everything about them two. It's crazy to me. You know what I mean? So, Lauryn Hill in herself, I mean, breaking down lyrics. I mean, line after line, bar after bar. It transcends time, you know?
Yeah.
And Anthony Hamilton has always been, I feel like he's been my favorite longer than Lauryn Hill because I actually learned Anthony Hamilton from my grandmother one day. And I was like, I love like I can't sing, but I can harmonize. I kind of can sing. I don't know. But I like, you
find out.
You can hear.
Yeah.
Like I have an ear for like I can hear the things that he went through. I can hear, or I've been through the same struggles. My family's been through the same struggles, and I can resonate with the music. If I feel like I can't resonate with the music, I'm gonna listen to it and I'm gonna cut it off.
Yeah.
But those two artists are someone like, even when I listen to them, it still replays in my life because it's just like, I think Anthony Hamilton has this song called "Coming From Where I'm From." Like everywhere I go, it's in my mind of where I'm from. I'm just trying to do better, you know? And this is how it was coming from where I'm from. He was like, my mom used to walk to work to make sure I can eat, for me to even be an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Lauryn Hill is talking about like tell God how much I love him. Like she's like, tell him. Like, you know? Like it's just it's so crazy. So I those are my two favorite artists.
And the thing about those two artists is they both have like a soul aspect to them. Strength.
Soul
in their voice.
music is me. Like I'm like, was I born like an old man? Was I born? But now when we're talking rap, we gotta say Drake. I'm gonna just say that it's there, and we're gonna leave that there.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
But my two favorite all time would be Anthony Hamilton and Lauryn Hill.
I should have asked this a little bit earlier when we were talking about branding and everything. But what are your 3 tips for growing a personal brand and a healthcare brand?
You are a brand on and off the internet. Be the same person on and off the internet. You are a brand. When somebody meets you out in the street, it needs to correlate. Yeah. If it don't correlate, it's a problem. You know, I think that is my major tip. So just be who you are, truly. Yeah. You know, and what's another tip? I'm a Scorpio, so I'm always a little mysterious and a little private, but try and give as much transparency as you're comfortable with. You know what I mean? And just to resonate with people so they can know that you're real. You know? And I think that's something you want to be able to touch people in their heart, which is why I love Anthony Hamilton and Lauryn Hill, because they touch me with their music. And I want to be able to touch people when I speak. And I want people to be able to relate to my story and give them a certain level of transparency, which I got from Transformation Church. Humble, open, and transparent. That's what I want to be. Humble, open, and transparent throughout my whole life. Love that. But when another thing we talked about earlier was do it with 2 views or 2 million views. Keep going. Keep going, because all of us, you have to understand, God might want you to have dominion over 1,000 people where they look to you for advice. God wants Johnny to have dominion over like 1 million people where they look to him for advice. Yeah. But that shouldn't lessen the 1,000 people that look to you, or make you feel less than him. You get what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like, I'm gonna keep doing it, whether it's 2 people watching or 2 million people watching. Yeah. Because I know this is my calling, and I'm gonna be happy with 2 people or 2 million people. That's just what it is. Absolutely. And that's my advice for people. And just be consistent. And I was telling like people who are like, man, how do you get into like the posting and things like that? Do it tired, do it after work, do it before work, or do it on a job you don't like. Yeah. You know what I mean? You still need to do those things to get you where you want to be. And as you, one day someone will see you, and you just have to be prepared.
Gotta be prepared for that opportunity.
Yeah. And when that opportunity comes, knock it out the park. Home run. I'm talking Barry Bonds.
Come on now.
You know?
Yeah. This is a question that my friends and I in professional school, medical school, we kind of just always think about as we're, pushing through, grinding through, is what we're going to spend our big first doctor check on. So since you're already a doctor, we wanted to know, what was your first purchase that you've made with your first big doctor check?
Oh. I bought a couple things. But my first one, I think, what did I do? think I spent like 30,000.
Mm.
I went to Cartier and spent 30 bands.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're rewarding yourself for your hard work, the dedication.
But let me tell y'all, if you spending 30,000, you need to be able to pay for it 10 times over.
Come on now.
Okay? If you can't pay for it 10 times over, then it ain't your time to get it yet. You know what I mean? But I think I went to Cartier and spent like 30,000. And my mom was like, "Oh, this is what you're doing." She was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But anybody that knows me, even before dentistry, I was always like, did stuff like that. But I feel like after I became a doctor, those were like the things.
Woo, can't wait.
Right? That is
Shoot.
that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. Make sure financial literacy is so important. Get you a financial advisor, a life insurance policy. I'm talking if you're starting a business, you need to have all your Roth. You need to have your money markets together. You need to have, I'm talking like a will and a trust. All of these things have to be in place.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. That's a whole thing, and it confuses
Financial
me.
literacy.
Financial literacy is very important.
Very important. And that's the thing, because doctors, we don't get taught that in medical school, dental school. Like, they're not teaching us about business. You have to get that on your own,
It's
or know
like
people
NFL players.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they don't be teaching them. And
Yeah.
they just,
Yeah.
However, you just need to, handle your business right.
As we close,
Yeah.
what is the legacy that you would like to leave behind for yourself?
Ooh, the impact on people's hearts. I think I was sitting back, or me and my staff were sitting back, just going over this past year. And we have made so many people more confident to smile and be happy.
Yeah.
It's like my legacy lives within the people.
Yeah.
Not in stuff, not in a building. It lives within the people, in the hearts that we've touched, in the stories that we've heard, and the people that we've helped. Like, truly, I've helped people who've been in domestic violence. I've helped people who've been in car accidents. I've helped people who've been bullied. I've helped people who were just born without certain teeth.
Yeah.
And just understanding, like, wow, everybody's story different. And I think cosmetic dentistry or veneers can get a bad connotation with certain people, because there are people believe that they don't need it, and they're just going to get things done.
Yeah.
Whereas there are people in this world that truly need a cosmetic dentist in their life, and Art of Aesthetics would love to always be there for you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Where can the people connect with you?
You all can connect with me at Dr.Q, DOCTOR.Q _ Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all those things.
Awesome. This is amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Q, for allowing us in your space.
I appreciate you. God is good.
Yes,
Love it.
Yes. I hope you all enjoyed this podcast interview with Dr. Q.
Yes.
Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And remember, it's not a marathon nor a sprint. It's a mission to medicine.
Amen. Let's do it.